Hey there, beautiful people. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, especially if you are an soon-to-be or you are already an ex-trad wife looking for your footing in the professional space. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the specific areas we want to talk about. The dangers, of course. What we're going to be discussing is how to understand exactly ways to avoid getting trapped, so to speak. Ways to avoid getting trapped. And if you've already been enduring some of the repercussions of being an ex-trad wife or being a trad wife and not understanding how to get out, we want to talk about ways to not just avoid, but if you're already in it, ways to overcome it. Stay tuned. Hey, beautiful people, this is Mentor Shelley. That you become a better version of yourself professionally, of course. As you're coming in, drop a like, say hello, welcome to the live. If you have, it's been a minute since you've seen me, go ahead and say hello. Tell me what city and state that you are hailing from. Before we jump into the meat of the matter, as far as ways to avoid it or ways to overcome the situation, I want to be able to talk to you guys about just the whole situation, about why is it that trad wives can end up in financial disaster, and why is it so dangerous for women specifically, because of course this is addressing a specific demographic. Why it's so important to understand what it is that you're getting into, and if you need to make an exit, how to get out. So let's listen to this particular video first, and we will go.
If we're not familiar, trad wife is a nickname for saying traditional wife. And it refers to a subsection of wives and husbands who live their lives according to a very specific set of rules. Kind of an arrangement can be very dangerous and leave you very vulnerable. And it's something that I think people are not talking about enough. Part of the trad wife lifestyle is that the man works outside the home and the wife works exclusively inside the home. This is the most important value to the whole dynamic. Losing financial independence means less freedom, not more. That when we cede control over our financial lives, we cede control over the rest of our lives as well. And what does that mean for these women? It means that they have no work history, no work references, they don't have any financial access or accounts in their own name, and that aging will be very difficult for them if they get a divorce or if their husbands pass away. If we're not familiar, trad wife is a nickname for saying traditional wife. And it refers to a subsection of wives and husbands who live their lives according to a very specific set of rules. Kind of an arrangement can be very dangerous and leave you very vulnerable. And it's something that I think people are not talking about enough. Part of the trad wife lifestyle is that the man works outside the home and the wife works exclusively inside the home. This is the most important value to the whole dynamic. Losing financial independence means less freedom, not more. That when we cede control over our financial lives, we cede control over the rest of our lives as well. And what does that mean for these women? It means that they have no work history, no work references, they don't have any financial access or accounts in their own name, and that aging will be very difficult for them if they get a divorce or if their husbands pass away.
All right. That is take number one as far as what is involved in the trad wife lifestyle. I want to also show you or obtain another perspective. It's not just one person that shares this belief. I want to make sure that you guys have an understanding of why it may or may not be harmful. Go ahead and take a listen to this, and then we're going to jump in to some solutions, okay?
I think the TradWife movement is incredibly harmful. I am 0 out of 10 supportive. This is the feminism we fought for, gals. Like, we want to have the right to choose. It wasn't that we all wanted to be in the workplace. It was that we wanted to have the right to choose. And it's the right to choose, do I want to stay home and focus on taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, or do I want to have a corporate career? That's feminism. The TradWife movement comes in with a lot of very patriarchal expectations of serving my husband, which I don't like, because you shouldn't be serving your husband. You should be partners with your husband. And some of these TradWife are even still working women, and they're like, my paycheck gets deposited into his bank account. Like, are you insane? Why? Why would you do that? I think the TradWife movement is incredibly harmful. I am 0 out of 10 supportive. This is the feminism we fought for, gals. Like, we want to have the right to choose. It wasn't that we all wanted to be in the workplace. It was that we wanted to have the right to choose. And it's the right to choose, do I want to stay home and focus on taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, or do I want to have a corporate career? That's feminism. The TradWife movement comes in with a lot of very patriarchal expectations of serving my husband, which I don't like, because you shouldn't be serving your husband. You should be partners with your husband. And some of these TradWife are even still working women, and they're like, my paycheck gets deposited into his bank account. I'm like, are you insane? Why? Why would you do that? I think.
All right. So that is her take on the movement as well. So let us dive in. Of course, tell me if you agree or don't agree with their assessment of the situation. In the meantime, there'll be varying differences of opinions here. But at the end of it all, I want to focus on, keyword, focus, Daniel-san, focus on the fact that not just, I'm here beating up on a belief system or how people operate within their marriages or whatever, but I also want to bring out the dangers, right? From dependent to empowered. I want to make sure that any woman or anyone that decides to pay, to participate in this lifestyle understands what they're getting into. If you're already in it and you're trying to get out, then we're going to come up with ways on how to overcome some of the repercussions. If you're about to go into it, please pay very close attention so you understand what it is that you're getting yourself into. Did you know that millions of traditional wives face financial devastation when life doesn't go as planned? You're not alone. If it is possible, if you're not alone, if it is possibly to keep you up at night and day and the next day and the next day after that. Why does it matter? Financial dependency can leave TradWives vulnerable to life's unexpected twists, but it does not have to be this way. Unexpected twists like your spouse passing away. Unexpected twists like your spouse being totally disabled by getting into a car accident. Unexpected twists like your spouse becomes abusive in a myriad of ways. Financial, psychological, physical, mental, all kinds of ways. Discover the primary reasons TradWives often, and I say often, I hate to say this, often may be feeling like they're going to be felt left destitute, and how we want to break the cycle. This is what I'm here to talk about. Number one of the risks that you pose to yourself, they touched on it in a couple of the videos there. Full reliance on a sole breadwinner. The risk. You can get divorced and you don't have a job loss. Your spouse can lose their job. You're depending on one income. Bye-bye, birdie. You guys are in financial destitution once this job is lost. Divorce. If you divorce from your spouse and your spouse is the only one earning money, that's also financial devastation. Illness. I did touch on that, whether it's a disability of some kind or whether they end up getting some form of terminal illness that renders them, renders them from not being able to even function in the job market anymore. Or death. Leave no safety net. We touched on this. Ways to avoid that, ladies. If you're able to, start building an emergency fund to cover at least 6 months of living expenses, whether it's working part-time, doing Uber, Lyft, doing some form of part-time business, freelancing, things of that nature. Open a personal savings account and contribute regularly, no matter how small. You have no idea. Do not despise small beginnings, ladies, because it is extremely important to do so. Of course, start a side hustle. I just talked about that, or explore part-time remote work for additional income. If you're looking for ways to at least, some resources to help you to start that process, you can go to mentorshelley.gumroad.com to find my resource. It's called an Ex-TradWife economic guide, or Ex-Trad economic guide. Okay, you can go there and download that guide for free. That is a free resource. Okay, the risk, lack of financial literacy, because if you allow your spouse not only to earn all the money, you also risk, that if you're not the one handling the money. Maybe you are as an ex-trad wife or as a trad wife. Mismanagement of finances or total dependency can lead to financial ruin when crises arise. Ways to avoid that, ladies, if you're able to. Learn the basics of budgeting. Get more involved in how the bills are paid, who gets paid what, when, and why. Investing, credit management through free resources and classes. YouTube University works wonders if you don't know anything about credit or you have not needed to pay attention to it because you've not been the one addressing the finances. Partner with your spouse in managing family finances so you can stay informed. Use financial planning apps. There's so many. YNAB is one. You can use an Excel spreadsheet. There's so many apps out there. My career coaching services include financial literacy workshops to help you confidently take control of your money. We can work on those things if you work with me one-on-one. You can go to calendly.com/mentorshelley3 if you want to work with me one-on-one. That's more comprehensive, specifically tailored to your specific career and financial needs based on the situation that you're in. As a ex-trad wife, going to be ex-trad wife, or a trad wife that you're looking to exit stage left the situation. The risk, of course, returning to work after years of being away can be overwhelming and leading to low-paying or unfulfilling jobs. Ways to avoid it or ways to counteract it or overcome it. Update your skills with online courses or certifications in growing industries. Okay? Udemy is one of them. Coursera is another. Those are just the two that come off the top of my head. There are other courses. Believe it or not, people have put their courses on YouTube as well to learn new skills that are marketable in the marketplace. And of course, reframe your homemaking experience. I also have the Ex-Trad Wife guide that I talked about earlier. Go ahead and download that. That will definitely help you to start reframing some of the homemaking experience that you have to use as transferable skills to start looking for additional, start looking for employment or for using it for freelance services that you can offer. Start networking through online platforms like LinkedIn or your local professional groups, depending on the industry you want to enter into or an industry you have some experience in, if you do have experience, depending on when or how long you've been a trad wife. Of course, as we always talk about, if you want to work with me one-on-one, my career coaching services are designed to help trad wives identify their hidden skills and craft resumes that stand out. Those type of career coaching services I offer one-on-one by you going to calendly.com/mentor Shelley 3. But I do have other resources available as well. But what are the risks? Without retirement savings, because you have not been working, retirement savings or insurance, financial independence becomes a distant dream. Ways to avoid it, ladies. Open and contribute to a retirement account like an IRA, a 401k, or a Roth IRA. You can do that at the bank. You don't necessarily have to be with an employer to open an IRA. Invest in life insurance. Speak with a licensed life insurance expert that can talk to you about securing your family's financial future. Because as much as that your husband is working, does he have the proper coverage if something were to happen to him? Okay. Set smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals, financial goals. Whether you are looking to exit or whether you have exited already. You want to make sure whatever you are doing, you have the proper information. And of course, guys, I'm not looking at a lot of the comments today, but want to make sure that you are participating. If you have questions, please do so at the end of at the end of this, and we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. But of course, if you're looking to at least get some resources to get started for free, you can go to mentorshelley.gumroad.com and you can download my Ex-TradWife economic guide to get started. So you can start putting your economic life together by at least finding, what your skills are so we can get them working for you in the job market. Of course, empowering TradWives to rewrite your financial story. Is it possible? Yes. TradWives already possess incredible organizational, problem-solving, multi-talented skills. You guys just need to apply them in the right way, whether it be for freelance, entrepreneurship, or for the job market. What are your next steps? Start small with financial planning and skill building. Start using those online resources, even if you have to use your phone to do the classes, and take control of your career by building your skills, making sure you start learning about the finances of the home, so it can definitely help you not just on how to be more financial literate, but it can also help you with skills in the job market. Go ahead and download your next action steps. Go ahead and grab the Ex-TradWife economic guide at mentorshelley.com mentorshelley.gumroad.com to get started, to at least get the ball rolling so you know exactly whatever skills you do already have as a homemaker or as an ex-TradWife, you can use that particular guide to get started and to narrow that down a little bit. However, to take it a step further, I want you to grab my new digital course From TradWife to Working Professional. You can go to mentorshelley.gumroad.com/ex-TradWife, just as you see it here. I will go through step by step on how to leverage your skills. There is going to be tools in there so you can formulate your own. Sorry about that. You formulate your own, your particular skill set to get started. Of course, guys, as you're as you're exiting, go ahead and like the video, share it with any ex-TradWife or TradWife that you think is going to find it valuable. Thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, if you have questions, you can go ahead and email me at mentorshelley3@gmail.com. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. And as an ex-TradWife, I want you to have what you need to become financially and economically independent. All right, guys, take care. You have a good one. Bye.